What's up, guys? I have Zak Bigelow with us today. He has tons of experience in sales. He's been a marketing consultant with Marketing 360 for quite some time, has a sales background, is a sales director now, and really leads a team of salespeople and really works with small businesses all the time in all different kinds of industries, and talks with them and consults with them about their sales process and how that leads into marketing and everything else. So I wanted to pull him on today to get some of his insights on sales, and especially with the times that we're living in right now. What are some tips on sales currently, but also how do we think ahead to what things are going to look like in the digital landscape, and what the world looks like in the future, and how do we better think about how we need to build our sales organizations and improve upon our sales processes. So that's what I have Zak on for today to talk about. So, hey, Zak.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, JB. Excited to be here.
Absolutely. So Zak, if you just want to jump in, what do you think, what are some things we need to be thinking about on that front?
Yeah, I think there's two big things that stand out to me first. I mean, we talk about it all the time, but how does your clients like to communicate? In this day and age, people are getting comfortable communicating in a variety of different ways. And so as a small business owner, you have to think about how are you willing to communicate, and what systems do you have set up to communicate with your customers? If you're just relying on, you get the lead and you call it one time, maybe twice, and that's all you really do, think about the new age business and how much businesses are evolving during this time and using technology. What if your competitor is sending an email, sending a text, sending follow-up emails and automations? Same thing with text messages. What if they're sending out social posts to their contacts, or at least being available to message in that way? And so I just think, one of the biggest things that we can do is think about how we're communicating and what systems can we put in place to make that automated and efficient.
That's a great point, because we always talk about multi-channel marketing, but really it's multi-channel sales, right?
Right.
And as you're saying that, I was instantly thinking of my daughter who, if you tried calling her or emailing her, you're probably not going to go anywhere with that. But if you send her a DM on Instagram, you're going to have a lot of interaction there. So how are we thinking about yeah, totally. And I think as small business owners out there, how are you thinking about your customers and where they spend their time? Are you actually searching for them on Instagram? Are you searching for them on LinkedIn? And then finding those profiles and saving that in your CRM and communicating the way they want to, because that's a huge power tip. We need to be thinking about how we can communicate the way that they prefer.
Yeah, and just two, imagine the feeling that you're going to have in them when you're willing to reach out on a personal level like that. And then two, just the level of trust, right? We're always talking about as much trust as you can build up in your business and your brand before you even get to the sales pitch increases your likelihood of closing that sale. Oh, this is a business that communicates with text messaging. Worst case, something goes wrong or I'm unhappy with something, I'm going to be able to shoot a quick text, and I'm sure this business is going to work with me to make it right. So, you're getting a hold of more people and you're building up more trust with your brand.
100%. No, I love that. What else? What else do we need to be thinking about?
I think the second big thing is it's hard to ignore what we're going through right now. And, I'm in sales, and every small business owner knows that they're in sales. And sometimes there can be just that little bit of hesitancy to pick up the phone, right? What is this person going through right now? How viable of a customer are they? And what we're finding is, if you're willing to offer a solution and be empathetic, that's relevant to these times, right? And like you kind of mentioned, paint the picture of how your service can evolve and serve people moving forward. Everybody wants to have that conversation right now. If you can provide a product or a service that does something to a home or for a family that is going to make it easier to get through times like now, or, heaven forbid something like this happens again, or even on a smaller scale, they're more protected, more set up, they have a product that helps them through those times a little easier. Everybody's open for that conversation right now. And anybody that's willing to help them through this time and present something with empathy of like, hey, I understand this, but you need this will make it easier, this will make it better, something like that. Put that fear away, pick up the phone and call and deliver that message. People are open to that and wanting to hear it.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, that's huge. Yeah, and I think that just with that thought process in general, just thinking about, in the future, what are the different products and services that people are going to need, and how is that going to change, and how are you going to need, to get in front of people on that front? I was just thinking the other day in my neighborhood, they have some people actually walking door to door, doing some kind of inspection, or who knows what it was. But I'm thinking that's probably not the best time to be doing that.
Right.
People are probably pretty concerned to be opening their door to talk to you. But what that tells me is that business had no other way of thinking about how to generate leads and how to get leads. The only way they know how to do is go door to door. So that's like a business that's in the Stone Ages at this point. You need to be innovating. How can you get in front of people without going door to door? You know, what would be some of your tips on that? How could you get in front of people?
Well, let's think about one of our most successful stories we've had during these times. I mean, your salesperson is online 24/7 now, whether it's your social media profile or your website. So this message of how you can help and serve people in these new times doesn't have to be delivered through a phone call. If you're posting about it, if you're creating a video and putting it on YouTube and emailing out to your customer base. I mean, one of our most successful new age clients that we have is a plumber. And I'm sure a lot of people are going, what the heck is a plumber doing? But when the toilet paper crisis happened, they went on social media, made a joke about bidets and selling bidets, put that thing on there. It's one of our most liked and shared posts we've ever put together for a client of all time. And that speaks to everything that we're talking about: communicating the new age, painting the vision about how I can help you in these times, and being empathetic to it. And then, you know, my favorite personal touch on anything, if you can ever add humor, you always got a better chance of getting people hooked.
Absolutely. Yeah. Make stuff funny. That's huge. Yeah, I think that's a great tip. And I think, you know, any type of local business too, just something that I was actually thinking about the other day, but in Instagram, you can go into Instagram and you can click on the location. So you could see all the recent posts in the city that you live in, for example. So one thing to do there is just kind of comb through that every day. You know, those are people that are engaging on social media in your local area. Like their content, leave some comments in there. You know, don't be salesy, just be somebody where they are like, hey, I start to know who that guy is or that girl is or whatever. But you might also see some posts that maybe you offer a product or service that will answer the problem that's being, you know, showcased in that post, whatever that might be. But just be aware of what's going on in the community. You'll start to build these relationships, and that's basically the digital door-to-door right there. Right. Like on Instagram, when you're getting those recent posts in your local city, those are people in the digital world where you can go knock on their door, give them a like, give them a comment. You know what I mean? Start to build a relationship there. And then when they need the products or services that you sell, they think of you first.
And how far will that reach, right? You're going to connect with one person, but you know, now your sales process and your communication and connection is public, and everybody that follows them and looks at their content as well is seeing you, a business willing to reach out, communicate, especially if you came across somebody that needed one of your products or services and you reached out to help. I mean, that's not just one lead, that's 5 leads, 7 leads, 10 leads. Who knows how many people will see that?
Absolutely. Yeah. So like the roofing example we were using, somebody throws a post in there like, holy cow, look at the damage that the hail did in my backyard. And they take a picture of how their tree branches are all over their deck or something. And if you're a roofing company, you could just leave a comment in there like, oh man, that's terrible. Hey, you know what? We helped out your neighbor down the road. So if you need us to come check it out, you know, no risk to you. We're happy to take a look at it. Just let us know. They'll probably respond on that. So that's a free lead, but guess who else sees the comment, right? All of their friends and family, everybody sees it. So you might get a twofer or a tenfer out of that, where you get all kinds of leads from that one interaction. So I think those are the types of things, you know, people need to be thinking about moving forward on how can we innovate our sales process and operate with these different channels a little bit better.
Yeah, it's just like you said. I mean, we're still willing to hunt and do the hard work, but it's just not door-to-door knocking anymore. You know, you can do it from the comfort of your own home. It's just scrolling through Instagram and Facebook and potentially LinkedIn, just connecting with those folks there. Less bunions on your feet, and you don't have to leave your family.
100%, absolutely. So wrapping it up, let's say, you know, what are your like top maybe 3 or 4 sales tips that would apply back when the very first salesman was born in the Stone Ages, all the way until now, and will continue to be important into the future? What are those top like 3 or 4 sales tips just in general?
Number 1 is listen, right? Just understand what your customer is looking for and you know, what their needs are, what their struggles are. If you do that and you really care about your business, then you're going to be able to really reach out to them. 2, you know, always think about the benefit. You know, we get so caught up in these cool things that we do, or these features that we offer, or hey, check out how cool this looks. But in the end, you know, anyone that you're speaking to, what they really want to know is, what's the benefit to me? How is this going to help me? And along with that, my final tip would be is paint the dream for them. You know, when you're reaching out to somebody, really do a good job of explaining what this looks like, what's it's implemented, and how this is going to change their household or their business. or whatever experience that you dive into with your products and services. But if you can listen and really understand what they need, and then connect the businesses to their concerns or their goals or their problem they're trying to solve, and then do a great job of painting that picture of what it's going to look like after a great relationship working with us, you're going to have a customer for life.
I love it. Listen, benefits, and dreams. Perfect. All right, Zach, I really appreciate it. Great tips today. Thanks for jumping on.
Great to be here, JB. Thanks, man.